And we are live streaming on Facebook, yes.
Okay. So hi everyone who's out there. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. Say hi to us so we know you're there. We have a little talk this morning, brief, but kind of inspired.
On Facebook, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready with the technical stuff. And we have one viewer. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
So we're just going to take 1 minute to let everybody arrive and say hi to us. So if you're there.
Is that Maria Silva?
No, Maria Garasti.
Okay.
Danielle joins. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
Let us know if you can hear and see us well. We have a third viewer, so people are starting to come on now.
Awesome. Just to let everyone know we're excited to be here with you again. Who hopped on?
Danielle says hello. Shaziela joined as well.
Great. Hi. Okay, we're going to give it maybe another minute or so.
Want to do another minute?
Okay, one more minute.
We just did a minute.
Okay, we'll do one more minute and then we're on.
Maria says, I was expecting you to start an hour earlier.
Oh, yeah, this is 11 o'clock California time, Pacific time.
And this is 8 o'clock Central European time. What time are you, what time zone are you in, Maria? Let us know. And Rekna, sorry if I mispronounce your name, but Rekna joined as well.
Hi. Yeah, we were talking before.
Shaziela says, hi, Judy and Leila. Hi.
Hi.
We have 7 people watching now. How exciting.
Yeah. I am excited.
8 people. All right.
All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
So, go ahead.
So today's topic is, we gave it a title, Letting the Inner Rebel Play. And so what is that about? We wanted to do something about the rebel, our inner rebel, because we, Judy and I, we both feel really connected with our own inner rebel, right, Judy?
Yeah, I sure do.
And we love to play. And so what is the inner rebel about? For me, at least, why is it rebelling in the first place? Well, it's rebelling whenever it feels something from the outside is trying to control it. And so personally, I can really feel that when something or someone is trying to control me, meaning trying to force me to do something that may or may not feel right to me, when my freedom feels a little threatened, my inner rebel comes up, and it's like, And so this gesture actually explains what the inner rebel really wants. It wants to have its boundaries. It wants to express boundaries and have them. So this Facebook Live is really about control versus boundaries. How can we deal with something from the outside trying to control us without trying to control it back? Because then we end up in this duality and, shenanigans galore. Right? So how can we deal with control without trying to control it back, but have boundaries and use our creativity, use our playfulness to act or, know what to do. Something you want to add to that, Julie?
No, I think you opened it up well. And just to say, as we didn't really introduce ourselves, I'm Judy Dragon. I'm a theta healer. Been practicing for about 22 years and been in holistic healing for over 40 years. And I think I'm finding my niche in speaking on these things. It's really become fun. Considering 20 years ago, I was afraid to get before cameras. So this is big healing for me. Layla, you want to say something?
Right. So yeah, my name is Layla Kourihoussa. I live in Belgium. I have my business here, and everything I do is about inner work, facilitating inner work for people, shifting mindsets, aligning with your soul purpose. I'm specialized in HSP, highly sensitive persons, and making a business out of your soul purpose, which is what I am doing as well.
Okay, thanks. So I'm going to tell my story.
Right.
Layla and I the other day were kind of sitting together sharing stories, and we were going, wow, those are great. Let's talk about them. So it was like this beautiful Saturday morning about 2 weeks ago, and I was in line at a store to go food shopping, and it was marked with this red tape on the cement. And I was standing there with my bandana around my neck, and 6 feet away from me was a man in line whose head was fixated on his cell phone and a surgical type, mask strapped over his mouth. And the couple behind me were moving to the left of me to lean against the building pole to give them some support, because we were, standing in one little spot. And they weren't 6 feet apart from me, but none of us really cared. They just needed some support, and I didn't have a problem with that. So then this elderly woman walks up on the right side. She was kind of an interesting dressed woman with sunglasses on her head and a mask around her neck. And I could feel her inner rebel checking things out. And she would look at each person attempting to make eye contact with them, and no one was paying attention to her. So her eyes wandered to the next person in line to see if they might be open. The social distancing and mask has made people very paranoid so that they don't even smile or look at each other. And I made a decision that I'm here to spread creators' light and love. So when I venture out, I keep that in mind, and I smile and I attempt to connect. And being a dancer, partner dancer for years, occasionally I enjoy a good waltz every once in a while. And I keep that old Jackie DeShannon song in the back of my head. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. So as the woman was coming towards me, and she noticed I looked right at her, and she looked down the line, and then she looked back at me, noticing we were making eye contact. And I smiled, and she spoke. And she said, hey, you'd think they, give us a cup of coffee waiting in this line. And I just broke up laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing. I wasn't even knowing what, she was going to say, but I don't know. It just caught me off guard about a cup of coffee. She really wanted to know if anyone else was, willing to open up and make connection and to relate and to use their mouth to speak and their eyes to look and to engage. So I could also feel her annoyance that people were acting strangely over this situation, and people didn't have blindfolds on. So maybe some were wearing their masks like muzzles, so they kept silenced. But she and I, we weren't into that. So I wasn't going to look like a bandit until I entered that store. So it was in one of those moments where the stores and the officials' boundaries of control weren't going to control our connection. So I don't know if any of you know about what a social engagement system is, but social distancing stops the social engagement system that was part of us since we were born. And it makes us humans relatable. But when this doesn't happen in infancy, it creates dysregulation of the nervous system and trauma. It's not healthy, and it certainly has nothing to do with safety. So healing and health and growth is done in connection, not in isolation. So you can see kind of what's going on in the bigger awareness of what's going on in the world. So those that think they can tinker with our human psyche and our vulnerabilities, like they did to me as a child, causing Stockholm syndrome, know this effect, and they know this game really well for everyone. They're clever and they're cunning, but my inner rebel is quite wise to their ways, and I don't want to play that game. So the woman moved on to the end of the line after she said that, and while I was standing in the same spot, I decided to play a song in my head, and my inner rebel chose to kind of dance to it. And I moved my hips and my shoulders and enjoyed just that moment standing in that one spot. And I decided I'm not going to abide to how they want me to feel as if I'm in their captivity. And I'm not going to do as I'm told or follow the herd or wait to be abused anymore. That was then. So I create my own moments. I like dancing and I like relating. I create my own uniqueness. My inner rebel couldn't care less if I busted a move right on that spot. We were having fun. And that was my freedom, our freedom in that moment. And I say, let's build more moments like that. So just take a breath with that.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that, Judy, and how you did it. I love that story. Again, it's about we create our own reality in each moment, and we don't have to believe the outside narrative.
Right.
And it's possible to do that without adversity, without, fighting against something.
Yeah.
So people, let us know how you feel about this story. What is it? Is it teaching you something? Is it showing you something new? Is it inspiring you? Let us know what does this bring up for you? We would love to know. Because one of the things we've been doing now is, as we publish these live videos on our website as well, we want to share your comments or some of your comments on our website so that people who, land on our website and may not know these videos yet can see what they are doing for others. So if this inspires you and if you feel you want to inspire others to watch our videos, to consume our free resources, let us know in the comments. What would you say about what you heard in Judy's story? So should I tell my story now?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So also about a couple of weeks ago, I had to go into a store here in Belgium. And so this is not about face masks, but about hand sanitizer. So I'm just gonna write down the time so I, don't tell my story, don't spend too much time, telling my story. But so I went to this store and I saw that upon entrance, there was a salesperson with a, bottle of hand sanitizer, a face mask and gloves. And each person that came in, she went to them to give them hand sanitizer. And every person I saw, complied and received the hand sanitizer, washed their hands and came in. And so I've done quite a lot of research about these hand sanitizers, and they are, they contain industrial chemicals that, like triclosan, ethanol, and they suppress the immune system. Ultimately, they are also, um, they're hormone disruptors. They are related to cancer and liver damage. And so for me, that is not about my health. So my inner rebel came up, and I felt it would not be honoring myself to allow those chemicals to be put on my skin, because my body will then absorb them and my immune system then has to fight that. My idea of health is very different. And so I decided to go in and simply explain that I wasn't going to take that hand sanitizer because it was damaging for my health. And so it was very suspenseful for me to walk in and tell my truth, knowing that pretty much everybody was complying and I was going to be, different. But so I did. I walked in, and the person came to me assuming that I was just going to say yes, and almost sprayed it on me without even waiting for me to say yes. But I was like, no. And I said, I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to be able to do that, because the ingredients in that hand sanitizer are damaging for my health, and my skin will break out, and it will ultimately support suppressing my immune system. And so I could tell that the person was really kind of like taken back by, whoa, you don't want to do this? But I stayed really calm and in compassion with myself first, and also without any adversity to the person. I wasn't making her wrong for, doing what she was doing. And so she kind of looked at me, I would say in a sheepish way, kind of like not knowing what to think of that, but also knowing that this is not obligatory. She couldn't make me do it. So she was like, okay, all right. So I just walked in. And so my inner rebel at that moment felt totally jazzed. I was like, yes. And not about, rebelling, but more about owning myself, owning my freedom to have, to exert my health in a way that makes sense to me, knowing that I'm not endangering anyone. I'm not damaging anyone by having my boundaries, even though maybe some people may believe so. I know I'm not doing that. This is about my boundaries. And so for sure, in my childhood, there were a lot of episodes like that where I felt I was not given a choice about stuff, about my body. For example, in school, I was forced to sit still for 8 hours I couldn't move the way I needed to, things like that. So to step into this in a new way for me was also crazy healing. And my inner rebel was completely pleased, so happy. So that's my story.
I loved hearing how you just shared it now, because you put it together so well, you put it together in such a way where you really carried that theme about not being controlled and really having your boundaries intact in that moment coming from yourself. So I just really appreciated hearing that new angle that you just gave now. Yeah.
Thanks. So people, let me know, what do you think about the story I shared? Was it inspiring? Did it give you ideas, or do you have any questions? Let us know. We would really love to hear from you. I'm not seeing any comments yet, so.
So we have some downloads for you, some creators teachings. So for those that are on and don't know what that means, these are concepts or that support your psyche or your body, concepts that you may not know. And these are through the energy that runs through everything. We call that all that is, unconditional love. So if you would like to receive them, all you need to say is yes to yourself, and you may have an experience of feeling light or tingly. So that's what these are about. So
So
I
go
will
ahead.
read a few, and then Layla will go into a theta state and witness that.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So would you all like to know what it feels like, how to, when to, the possibility of that you can, that you do, that you're able, that you're safe, and that you're worthy, deserving, and good enough to have boundaries that are fun and joyful, to have boundaries without controlling others, to have boundaries out of your needs rather than against someone else. Are you ready, Layla?
Yes.
To use your creativity to feel unrestricted, to dare to ask for what you want, to have human connection in any situation.
Okay.
To know your courage to shine your individuality, to live without attempting to control another's perspective, to receive what you need, and to feel worthy of it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we are attempting to do these Facebook Lives at least once a week. Sometimes we spread it out a little longer, but we really appreciate, all of you hopping on and, just taking your time out of your day to be with us. It's important that we get these messages out in different ways. Sometimes they're more serious, sometimes they're more fun. But the world is going through a lot right now. And how to live in a moment-to-moment experience and keeping our centers is really important. And also, it brings up issues. So we're hoping that these little talks, as Layla said before, give the inspiration and
Because it's not always easy to know how to act, right? And this is really my point. When so much is going on around us, to keep our center, but then to also know how to act without feeling like we are, giving ourselves away because we feel we have no other choice. There is choice, and so I hope that our stories can inspire you to know that the possibilities are there.
and bring your inner rebel out.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we go, I would say I'm wishing for you to celebrate your inner rebel. That's my wish for all of you tonight. And so if you want to stay up to date to our lives and our initiatives, I'll drop the link to sign up for our mailing list. If you have a story of your own to share, please do. We would love to hear it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Judy?
Well, we have our website, which is the Moving Beyond traumaproject.org. We have free resources for you. We have podcasts, we have more videos, and so I hope you'll check us out.
All right, that's it for today. See you next time.
Have a good Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm looking for the button.
Okay.
I can't find the button. Ah, I found the button.